Good morning. Welcome. How we doing? Welcome back. All right. Well, yeah, some really nice stuff yesterday. Some really nice stuff, really nice setups, nice downside. Tesla worked out like a beauty. So congrats, guys. That trade's pretty much over, but what a catch that was. I'm thinking about just not even trading the rest of the week, to be honest. There's really no need to. But yeah, I'll probably just scale down. You know, I think this is something that's important, right? If you have a really good trade, right, one of the days of a certain week, you know, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. For what? All right, for what? Do I own AMC? That's a negative, Ghost Rider. Hell no. Yeah, so really nice stuff. Meta, another nice trade that we took yesterday in the group. If you guys are part of the group, congrats on that Meta trade. That was really nice. nice downside there. We talked about that 300 retest rejection. It worked out really well. So overall, some really nice stuff. Hopefully you guys did well. Hopefully you guys caught some of that yesterday. Some really nice downside, nice setups, some nice technical levels. Yeah, I'm still holding Tesla, still holding some Meta, still holding some Amazon puts. They were all up over 100% yesterday. So, yeah, I have like one contract left of all of them. It's nothing that's really gonna matter. Yeah, I pretty much got fully out yesterday. Held 1-2 contracts, and then just sort of let them ride. Up 200% on Tesla. I think it was up 140% on Amazon. I think 60% on Meta. Probably give back a little bit today, but maybe a few $100, where we locked in over $6,000 on that yesterday. So just why not hold one, you know? Why not? Why not? So what about Lennar? What about it? I don't know. What about it? I have no clue. Not a clue. Lennar is a home builder that built my house in Naples. That's about all I know about it. Wait a few minutes for some more people to step in. Nice little, what do we got? We got 600 people in here, 100 likes. Damn. Ratio's getting worse and worse. As you guys step in, if you could, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We're almost to 70,000 subs, so we gotta keep going. Hopefully get 100,000 by I don't know. We're not gonna get 100,000 by the end of the year, but maybe if the momentum picks up, we'll see. We shall see. $6K, why not me? Morning. I watched some Doc yesterday. He was playing Madden with Timmy. That was funny. Netflix yesterday. Oh man, Netflix was clean, huh? Netflix was perfect. We killed Netflix. ADR, I think, was in that trade. She did well on that. But just a perfect technical setup there on Netflix yesterday. So congrats if you caught that one as well. We'll go over that one. That was beautiful. Do the stream shirtless. I've been working out a lot. Probably wouldn't be bad. Maybe the momentum will pick up on the streams if I go shirtless. All right, let's get started. Welcome back, guys. Thanks again for being here. 8:05, August 17th. Yeah, some overall thoughts to sort of pass along today, just on the overall downside and sort of possibly, right, the risk. You have to remember this, right? The longer we sort of slide to the downside here, there is going to be a risk of some type of a relief bounce, squeeze back to the upside type of day, right? That day is going to come in. We'll have to see when, right? But we just have to be aware that, as you grind lower here, as you continue to take profits on the put side, don't just hold mindlessly, right? There's going to be a day that sort of squeezes out some shorts that are just way too comfortable. It may not be today, but there will be that type of day. We'll see. We'll try to base it off some levels. That's just sort of in the back of my head as I approach today. Just make sure I continue to scale out of my put side. Make sure I scale out as I get the move lower. Make sure I'm not just holding aimlessly, not getting stuck in any type of squeeze. Just making sure that as we get this move lower, which has been very consistent, just protecting myself from any type of, intraday squeeze that will stop some people out. I'm sure that will happen at some point over the next few trading days, just because of the manner and how this is just slowly moving lower. So just make sure you have that in the back of your mind. If you're real heavy in puts, consider scaling out profits. It's better to scale some off than to get caught in any type of, intraday move to the upside. So today, the 17th of August, Do we have anything on the economic? Is it just jobless claims today? I'm pretty sure it's just jobless claims today. The normal jobless claims, the normal stuff. Let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. It does work today. Very nice. Okay, it finally works. Jobless claims today, 8:30. That's really it, guys. Fed manufacturing survey and U.S. leading economic indicators. Really nothing there. Jobless claims, 8:30. That's really all we got. And then tomorrow, nothing scheduled. So very nice. And next week, real light, huh? Real light. You guys can see here on economic schedule, economic calendar next week, pretty light. So pretty much done with the economic news this week. Jobless claims today, nothing tomorrow. That's very nice. So nothing to really worry about there. Any earnings? I think Walmart reported earnings this morning, right? Yeah, Walmart reported earnings. That was really it. What did Walmart end up doing here? Walmart pretty much flat. Really nothing going on there. So nothing much really on the calendars here. Just jobless claims this morning. Tesla, what can I say? What a trade. Really happy with how this worked out. This is just like, it's just that textbook trade, man. It's that textbook setup, textbook analysis, and it just worked. Very happy with how it actually just worked out for us. So really good example there. I hope you guys learned something from this trade. I hope maybe you got introduced to volume profile if you weren't before. Maybe you were introduced to trading in those low volume gaps if you weren't familiar before. So hopefully this gives you some type of an idea of how to catch those types of trades. That was a really nice one. We'll go over it again. Nvidia still holding 435. Microsoft still at that 320 level. Apple did break its 177, 100 SMA. This is something to be watching today. Netflix, beautiful retest rejection. We talked about this one on the stream yesterday. And man, what a move that was. We'll go over that one. Google 129 and then perfect Meta rejection. I wanted to end with this because I'm going to spend a little bit of time on sort of how this trade worked out, right? This was a very patience trade. It required patience. It required belief. It required not being panicked, right? You have to find a way to enter trades and not be sweating the entire time you're in the trade. If you enter a trade and you have a stop loss, you cannot be sweating the entire time. Once you press that buy button, you are accepting the risk that you put on your portfolio. No matter what happens, if it's under your stop loss, you cannot panic, right? So, and I'm not, I don't want to call out anyone that trades with me, right? I'm just using this as an educational example. Some people took that Meta trade with me yesterday. They stopped out of the trade for, in my opinion, for no reason, right? The setup was still there. It was still under our stop loss, right? The setup was still valid, but people are stopping out of the trade, right? And what was the reason for that? The reason is likely because they were in too much size, they were down too much, they were panicked, right? So they're stopping out of the trade. 30 minutes after stopping out, the trade setup works out beautifully. Meta falls the rest of the day. It's a 70% trade. So these are the things you need to work on. If you're stopping out of trades too early, not trusting your setups, not believing in them, maybe over leveraged, very important in trading. You have to let a trade setup work out. You cannot micromanage trade setups. So we'll talk about that at the end of the stream. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Once again, guys, welcome back. Hope you guys had a fantastic morning, fantastic day yesterday. If you guys could, make sure to press that like button before we get started here. That would be much appreciated. All right. So, what happened yesterday? What happened yesterday? The perfect 15,150 rejection. And we cannot say that we did not call out this level in the live stream. 15,150, the perfect rejection of previous lows. So, I'm going to actually delete some of these levels for now just to clean this up, even though I will put that back on. You guys can see right here, right? Yesterday we talked about how the NASDAQ broke under 15,150. We talked about how it rejected 15,150 in the morning. And as you approached market open, right, you had to watch 15,150. And what did we do? Intraday, we squeezed to the upside. We moved right into supply, right? People are buying calls at supply for whatever reason because they're not paying attention to anything on the market. They're just chasing upside. We move right into previous lows, right into previous lows, right into previous highs, right into this previous high, right into this previous low, right into the pre-market high. It is the exact level that we were talking about on the live stream, and bam, right? Not hard. I'm not going to say, and I don't want to sound cocky, but this is not hard, right? This is just trusting a level, trading off a level, having the self-control to just understand that you are not going to long into a supply level, and that is exactly what yesterday did. On the SPY, it was even cleaner, which we'll go over in a second, but all we did yesterday was push up into supply, reject supply, and there's your move, right? So very nice stuff there yesterday. I mean, just a textbook retest of supply there yesterday at 15,150. You move down into this demand. You hold it pretty much the rest of the day, right? This 15,000, 15,040 zone, which is these previous lows, right? And end of day, you get that aggressive slip. So you pretty much maintained, right? And this is where I stopped trading anyway. You know, once you get like an intraday like this, that you just sit here for like 2-3 hours, you know, I'm not trading this anyway. So this is really the play, right? This is the trade of the day. The supply rejection, bear flag, right into the perfect level. Bam, trade of the day. Perfect, beautiful, textbook setup, right? Now this is just chop that you just stay away from. End of day, look what happens, right? Look what happens end of day. Look at the candle under 15,000 on the NASDAQ. Big NASDAQ 15,000 flush, and you trade down for the rest of the day. Now, what are we looking at? All right, it's the same thing. You are watching for the NASDAQ to either, I have it as an entire zone. You can just put it as like you could do something like this. I like having it as an entire zone because I don't want to be long anywhere in there, right? Not at any point in between this zone am I interested in longs. But you could split it up like this. You want to watch first today, 15,000, right? 15,000. What happens at 15,000 if we push back into it? Do we start to see rejection step in at 15,000 today? If we do, there's another downside potential setup. If we get above 15,000, right? I'm still not long above 15,000, right? Why? Why do you not long above 15,000? And this is sort of why I want this as an entire zone rather than just two separate zones there. I want this as an entire zone because if I'm trading intraday today, right, and the NASDAQ's in here, if the NASDAQ's just sort of messing around in here, I don't want any inclination to go long, right? I don't want anything in my mind to tell me go long, right? I don't want that. I want to do as much as I can to help my mind stay on the right track, right? And so the reason you don't go long over 15,000 and the reason you don't go long if we are under 15,040 is because you would be longing right back into a triple bottom, right? Do not long into triple bottoms. It's just not going to work, right? Previous lows, previous lows, previous lows. If you go long here, you are potentially exposing yourself to this move, right? A retest of a triple bottom and a rejection that comes in, which is very resemblant of what we've seen on this market, right? Maybe it's different today, but if you want to just trade with the probabilities, which is probably your best bet, right? It's probably better to trade with the higher probability trade than it is to try to guess when it changes. Then you don't want to be long anywhere within the 15,000 to 15,040 supply. You have 15,000. You have the triple bottom at 15,040. There is no reason to be long in that zone. Now, if you get a reclaim, right? If the market can find some strength today and you reclaim 15,040, then there might be a nice little long, like 100-point long back into the 150, right? So if you can see the 15,040 turn back into support like it did over here, then there might be a nice little bull flag set up here, very potential, maybe a little bull flag off 15,040, and then you get that push into the 15,150 supply, right? Very possible. That's something you could be looking for today. The other level that I would be watching, which is a little bit on the short term, it's a little bit on the short term, but it could be an area to monitor, is this little wick rejection intraday yesterday. It's like right here around this 15,080, right? You might want to be a little bit cautious of this, this area here, right? So this right there, right? This previous low here, this previous low here, right? And this previous low here from the pre-market, you might want to be a little bit cautious of that 15,080, right? Right in that general area. It's always clear looking back. I mean, if you go back to yesterday's live stream, it was clear before it even happened yesterday as well, my friend. So if you go to yesterday's live stream, it was pretty much textbook clear before the day even started yesterday. We said watch for 15,150 supply. Bam, easy, right? Not easy, but that's what it was. SPY, we said watch 444 rejections, 444 triple top rejections, all right? So yeah, sure, you can say it's clear after, but it also is potentially clear before as well. You just have to really believe it and watch your technical levels and understand them intraday. So 15,000, it's like 15,080 here, right? 15,080, 15,080, 15,080, 15,080, right? There is a potential, right, of a little bit of a reaction here, right? A little bit of a reaction at this 15,080. So 15,000, 15,040. I would not be long anywhere. I would not be long anywhere in this zone, right? If you get above 15,040, then you could possibly see this upside hold, right? If you reclaim this 40, you might be able to push into this sort of gap here in the price action, anywhere between 40 and 150. I hard pressed, right, to do anything major in here. I guess you could also maybe just have this level on, just to be precaution, right? Just as a precaution from this little wick rejection from yesterday. All right, so just sort of keep this level on. I don't think it's a major level, but it might, you might see some reactions here as you did yesterday, right? Look at this sort of end of day reaction here. So you could see a little reaction there again today, 15,080. All right. Some very clean levels. You play them, you trust them. You put your stops in. If it doesn't work out, you take your loss and you just play the levels, man. That's all it is. 15,150 yesterday, perfect rejection play from the previous lows. Downside, 15,000 through 15,040, big supply, and then the 15,080. All right. QQQ. If we go to yesterday, right, we were talking about this previous low. Let me get this a little bit cleaner for us here. I'm going to clean this up for us. Just 1 second. We do have a few levels. I haven't adjusted this chart much today, so let me do it with you live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. So 366, that's that little intraday level yesterday, right up in here, 366. Keep that on watch. These lows right here, what is that, 364.70. Let's put that on watch right there. This is really just the short term here. I don't want to extend this line too much there. That's right, 366. Right there. Boom. And then you have this previous low, 367.50. There we go. All right, so there we go. Let's go into the 15-minute chart, and let's look at how this worked out yesterday. So the 15,150 is the same as that 367.50 on the Qs, right? The previous lows, right? The highs right there, the highs right there, and you can see the rejections that came in yesterday at that 367.50. So that's the big level there. Now, if we zoom in, the levels that I would be watching today, if we get upside pushes, right, are these lows right here. See this little double bottom low there at 364.70s, right? I would first watch that. If you get any kind of upside, be careful of this double bottom low here, right? That's around that 15,040 level, right? The 15,040 level right there, that triple bottom, that is equal to this triple bottom here on the Qs at 364.70. So that's your level there on the Qs. The 15,040 is the 364.70 on the QQQ right there, that triple bottom. All right. So watch that. Next level to watch is right here, right? This little intraday rejection from yesterday, 366. That 366 level is equal to the 15,080 on the NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ futures, 15,080. That is your QQQ 366 level, all right? So 364.70, triple bottom, 366, intraday rejection from yesterday, and then the big level above is that 367.50, 368. Those are your levels to watch today. I would be careful being long into any of them, right? If you push into this, be careful of that triple bottom rejection there. If you get above that, you probably push into this 366, right? And if you get above that, you push into the 367.50. That's sort of how you play these levels. If you get above one, the tendency is to move to the next. If you get above one, the tendency is to move to the next, right? But if you reject one of those, right, you have to be careful of being long into one of these levels. So be careful here, 364.70. Be careful here, 366. Be careful here if you get an extended move into 367.50. All right? So big levels to watch there. Yeah, 364 is that 15,000. Right, exactly. 364 right there is that 15,000 on the NASDAQ. All right, let's get into ES. So the ES was probably the cleanest of the group, right? We talked about this one yesterday. The 44.65 on the ES. Yeah, previous lows, pre-market highs, and right at it yesterday. Just perfect. 44.65 on the ES. Perfect rejections. Right at that pre-market high. Right at those previous lows. If I zoom in, right, you can see it right there. This is why watching that pre-market high is so important, right? You guys can see right there, pre-market high. Beautiful, beautiful triple top right at 44.65. That's very nice. Today, this is what I'd be watching. First of all, I would watch. This is sort of a intermediary level. I don't think this is too important, but I will watch it because it looks like there is potentially some reactions here at this 44.33. You guys can see there were some support holds there yesterday. So there might be some difficulty getting above this level here, this 44.33. I don't think it's going to be too. I wouldn't short off this level, right? I wouldn't look for this supply rejection personally. I don't think it's strong enough of a level. I would rather be short here at 4447, 44.47. You guys remember that level from yesterday? That was that pre-market low we talked about. All this 4447, all right there. If we get a pop back into that level today, that's where I would look for the rejection to come in at that 4447 on the ES, 4,447. I'm not too fond of this rejection. Once again, I'll say it again. I don't think this is that strong of a level here. If we reject this level today, then the market's very weak, right? Because I don't think there's that many sellers stacked up at these lows. If we do see this rejection today, then that's a really weak move. Like just a really slow fade here in the pre-market that just sort of gets nailed at this low from yesterday at 4433. So watch that 4433 on the SPY on the ES futures. That would be your first level. If you get above that today, then I'd assume you creep into that 4,447 on the ES futures. So look for 4433, 4447. If you get above both of those, right? If you are able to reclaim both of those, and if you're able to reclaim, right, this low, if you're able to reclaim these lows and turn it back into support, then that gets you your move back into the 44.65, right? That gets you the move back into the 44.65 for maybe a little recovery of yesterday's downside. So really clear levels there today. 44.33. This is sort of like not a great level. It's not a, trust it 100%. Like I'm going to short it right when I see it. I think it's a little bit of a weaker level. This is the big level. This is the big one for me today. 44.47. I think that has a lot more weight to it than this one right here. I want to just point out where the SPY or the ES is coming off of, right? Because this is important. And this is why I talked about yesterday or this morning, early morning, why you have to be a little bit cautious of maybe a little recovery move today or just a little squeeze to get some shorts out of their positions. Because I think if shorts are smart, right, which I would hope some of them are. I know a lot of them aren't, right? A lot of them aren't. But anyone that's been short for quite some time, right? I don't think, I can't help but think that this is a, hey, let me take profits here at 44.10, right? Let me start taking profits on any type of market shorts, any type of spot, any type of longer term SPY shorts, right? Any type of, shorts that I've been holding for some time. I think you look at this as a short and you say, hey, hey, let me take some off here, right? Because this is a 4-hour double bottom here on the ES futures at 44.10. So I think there is a reasonable cause for shorts to be getting out of positions here, which could cause you, right, to get a little bit of a retracement back to the trend, right? Because we also know that this trend was broken, right? This downtrend was broken. So there is typically attempts to retrace back into the trend, right? Once you overextend yourself, there's typically, that reaction to get back within the trend, which is still down, right? It's not bullish, but it overextended itself yesterday. So yeah, that's why I'm sort of cautious on the short side today a little bit, right? I'm just being aware of that 44.10. Do I really want to try to short back into this 4-hour low? I think most shorts that are actually profit takers, that actually trade to make money, are going to take profits. At least I have been yesterday, and I think a lot of people will also, into this 44.10 level. So that's sort of in the back of my head. That's why I brought up what I did this morning. That 44.10 level, it looks pretty heavy, right? You can clearly see it's an important level here on the 4-hour. And the possibility of the selling to slow down there, I think, is very possible. So just be careful, right? Keep that in the back of your head, right? Before you start trying to short this thing back into these lows. Just make sure you're understanding of how important this 44.10 is below. All right? SPY. We've been screaming 444 all week. You guys know that. We have been screaming the 444 level all week. Yeah. Right? There it is. Right? There it is. 44.010. 44.010. Jobless claims. Let's see. What's the move on jobless claims, if any? This is a big level right here. Not big, but definitely a level to watch. 44.010. Nothing going on. Nothing. I mean, it's like it's a ghost town on jobless claims here. Jobless claims 1.7. It's as estimated, I guess. All right, a little bit of pop there. A little popper. Nothing really, though. All right, well, moving on. Back to the SPY. So, yeah, we talked about 444 all week. Very nice rejection play, right? Very clear. Previous lows, right? Previous lows. You guys can see a perfect, nice little break-in retest rejection of that 444. Let me go 1 second. One second, guys. I just want to show you what this looks like intraday, because there is value to seeing what this sort of shows you as the market is trading and how to get insight into, how to read that before it actually happens, right? So here is some of the messages that we send, in the Discord intraday. Okay. So this is what you were looking at, right? Yesterday intraday, this is intraday. This is around 11 o'clock yesterday, right? This is what we're looking at. We're looking at just this clear 50 SMA, this clear 444 supply. We continue to see, right? We just continue to see the rejections every time it pushes up into it. So you have rejection here, right? You came back down. You came back into it. Another rejection, 50 SMA running across your screen, 444, that exact level. You come into it again, right? And again, this rejected once again. It happened every single time that you moved into that level. The ES, you guys can see here, it's that 4465, right? And so if you continue to see the rejection step in there and it's a key level, right? At some point, you got to give it some trust. At some point, you got to give it some trust. So you can see this is what ended up happening. Push into it, 444, supply, 50 SMA, triple top. You get your break of trend, right? Little break of trend right there. Bam, beautiful trade setup. Very nice little setup there. Now, today, yeah, you're potentially rejecting this 441, right? You're potentially rejecting that 441, actually. And then you're also going to watch, you're definitely going to watch this 443. That's for sure. So I'd say 441 here. This would be a wildly weak rejection here. If you actually see this today, that would be interesting. All right, if you actually see this little trend break today off these lows, that is definitely a weak move on the SPY and the ES. All right, if you see something like that, that's a weak move. But if you get above that, right, then you're looking for maybe this move into, it's not perfect. It's definitely like this 442 40s to around this 443. I think it's a lot cleaner on the ES, actually. So I would be paying a little bit more attention to the ES today because you can clearly see these lows. This is why I like the ES more sometimes than the SPY ETF. I get this question a lot as to why. Because when I look at the ES futures, I can see the level here, right? Look at how clean this triple bottom, quadruple bottom is at 4447, right? But when I go to the SPY, it's not as clear, right? It's not as clear. It's like sort of messy here. It's, you have a low here, a low here, a low here, a low here. It's not as clear to me, right? So that's why I do like using that ES futures a little bit more. The price action is just more clean. So wherever that is on the SPY, which I can't quite get a perfect read on it. So in this case, I'm definitely just going to watch the ES futures today because I know where it is there. So I'm not even going to watch the SPY for that rejection. For me, I'm probably just going to use the SPY for 444. That's all I'm going to use the SPY for. Just 444. As long as the SPY is under 444, then that tells me something, right? If the SPY gets back over the 444 level, then I could flip my opinion here for potentially upside moves over 444. But as long as the SPY is under 444, I think it stays weak. And I'm going to use the ES futures as my guide today because this is just way cleaner. So you are potentially breaking through this 44.33 here. If you get above this 44.33 here, right, then you're going to probably move into that 4447 today. All right. So that's the move, right? Keep an eye on that 4433. You hold that today. You push into the 4447. NASDAQ is back above 15,000, right? So that's important. So now we're going to do this. We're going to adjust this a little bit. So you're back at 15,000, right? So now we have to look at it like this, right? So now that we're over 15K here, we are now looking to see if 15K can turn into support, right? So let's see if we can turn 15,000 into support intraday. If we can see that, then we can see maybe a build here into that 15,040. That's your next level. So let's see if we can hold above 15,000 on the NASDAQ and get a move into that triple bottom at 15,040. All right, So that's your watch now that you have broken over 15K in the pre-market. Dow Jones holding this 50 SMA. Wow. Yeah, very nicely. Go to the 4-hour chart. Yeah, that was the exact yeah, this was the exact level we pointed out on the futures yesterday on the Dow. I have not touched this chart since yesterday. So, yeah, we moved right into that 50, the 34,800 on the Dow after breaking below that 35.1. And so for now, it looks like the Dow is probably going to try to maintain this 50 SMA here. 34.8, demand, 50 SMA. That's probably where the Dow holds on today. Russell, right at that 200. Looks like it's right at our zone, our green zone. What was that green zone we had? It was that 200 SMA, that 1880 level. So Russell, back to the 200 SMA, holding that 1880. Dow Jones, holding the 50, holding 34.8. All right? Keep an eye to see if the NASDAQ can either hold above, right, or if it's going to break back below 15K. Keep this on your charts, 15 and 15,040. All right, let's get into some stocks. So yesterday, I actually got a message from one of you guys, so shout out to you guys for that message saying we talked about the previous day close, right, on Tesla yesterday. We put this on our charts. We said watch out for previous day close on Tesla. And that was pretty much where we got our 234 rejection yesterday. So you pushed in the previous day close. You filled the overnight gap. You pushed into this previous low on Tesla, which was a very nice rejection. 234 rejection. Beautiful rejection off that pop, right? A nice opportunity to short back into Tesla. Grinded lower the rest of the day. Very nice there. Tesla continues to make these stair-stepping patterns to the downside. Today, right? Today, you are watching the 229, right? This is very important. 229 on Tesla. If Tesla gets back over 229 today, I'll probably just fully close out my position. The small runners that I have. 229, 229, 229, 229, right? We can clearly see the 229 importance. That is your level to watch on Tesla. 229. If you get above that today, you probably continue back towards that 234, right? If you hold below 229 and this continues to reject, then it's possible we get our move back into the 220s. So all about 229 today on Tesla, in my opinion. Look to see if this turns into a rejection again. You are right now holding the previous day closes support right there at 225.60. So keep an eye on that. But that 229 level, right? That's important today. That's your watch. Either way, right, really nice slide through the low volume gap, as we talked about here on Tesla. Price target should be around this 220. Don't get too aggressive on this thing. It's likely to get some type of a bounce off the 100 SMA. So I've been scaling out of this position. Nvidia, 235 was our demand, right? That 235 was the demand that we continue to watch here. And it held once again yesterday. So here's Nvidia, right? You can see all day yesterday that 435 demand held up beautifully. 435 was our level that we talked about. If we go to the 30-minute, right? If we zoom out, we talked about this 435 level. You can see that right here. 435, 435, right? And we have that 435 demand again. So we're holding it. As long as Nvidia is over 435, I would not look to short this name, right? This could still just be a little consolidation, maybe for a little bit of a, another push to the upside. That is very possible. So I would be watching to see if we get some NASDAQ strength today, right? If we hold that 15,000 today and we get a little bit of juice, right? A little bit of a squeeze, as we talked about this morning, then look for this Nvidia 435 demand. This could be very interesting today. Keep an eye on this Nvidia 435 demand. If you do long it, just please be careful into 448, 450, okay? Be aware up here at the 20 SMA and this supply, right? We can see what happened at the 20 SMA yesterday on Nvidia. Nasty rejection. So if you do long 435, right? If you do long 435 and you get a little reaction, be careful at the 20, okay? Just be careful at the 20, up there at 446. All right. Microsoft still holding that 320, man. This is going to be a level of importance. This is going to really, I think it's going to definitely have some influence on the market. Microsoft has not been a stock I would trade at all, right? Let me make that very clear. Do not trade Microsoft right here. It is a disaster, right? The only reason I bring it up is because this 320 level is going to have a big influence on the market, in my opinion. This is a 100 SMA. This is a double bottom at 320. And this is also, right, it's not a joke of a level. It's this major 4-hour low, right? So this 320 level has been very important on Microsoft, and it wants to fight, right? It's fighting. It's fighting to hold on. So if Microsoft holds that 320 and pushes, right, market might get some relief, right? Market might get some relief if we hold that 320 on Microsoft. If we get that break, right, and it gets flushy under here, that's where you get your next move. If you can get that break and hold under 320. So for now, I would just use Microsoft as sort of a proxy, see what it does at 320, understand whether it's holding or if it's breaking below, and see if there's a reaction on the market because of it. 320, major level to be watching on Microsoft. It's been battling to hold on. Apple broke below 177 yesterday. This is interesting, right? We'll have to see what the market wants to do today. But this is definitely, if I get the right chart here, this is definitely an interesting chart here today. 177 on Apple was previously a very important hold level. 177, 177, 177. Again, 177 yesterday. Yesterday, we broke below it, right? We got the flush. If you look at the intraday yesterday, here's your intraday from yesterday. You got the 100 SMA rejections yesterday, right? Very clearly. You broke below, right? Look at this break below 177. Look at the reaction under that level. So if you push back into 177 today, see what happens here, right? This is very important. If you start to see this, if you start to see something like this, right, and this starts to get stuck, then that is going to lead to potentially more weakness on the market. If Apple can get back above, right, and if it can hold above, right, let's say you get, I don't know, maybe you get a little bit of a pop, you hold above, right, you sort of just maintain here, then Apple probably just holds on, recovers, and sort of just stays sturdy above the 177 level and trades back within this channel, right, which is a shit show of a channel regardless. But that is really what I'd be watching in the short term here. You either reject 177 and this will see more downside, or, right, if you get back above, that probably just trades back within this shit show of a channel. Next support on Apple, I really don't have any in the chart Discord. Then you saw this there. Here was our Netflix analysis yesterday. So here was Netflix yesterday. If NQ stays weak, watch for this trend break on Netflix for downside into 412. Clear as day rejections at the previous support near 429, 430, right? Here's your chart. You can see we had that trend line. We had that break and retest, triple bottom into a triple top, right at that 429, 430, right? And just a very clear break and retest rejection, trend break. And yeah, if we go to this, right, we can clearly see, bam, beautiful trend, bam, nice downside. So congrats to those that caught that one. That was a really nice setup. Now this trade is over, right? We have to be able to accept when the trade is over. And in my opinion, the downside trade on Netflix for the short term is potentially over. Why? You moved back into demand here. You moved back into demand at 412. You're starting to see a pop off that level, and there is likely to see potentially more upside, right? A little bit of a pop off that 412 level, right? If we go out to the 4-hour chart, if you do break 412, actually, this might be a volume profile candidate here. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, okay. Oh, Perez. Does anyone know where that's from? Oh, Perez. Tell me someone knows where that's from. If you do, I don't know. I'm going to do something for you. Reach out to me on Instagram. Oh, Perez. Someone, please. No, not Checo. Not Boogie Nights. Maybe it's from that, but I'm not thinking of it from that. I'm going to give it like another. There he is, subpar golf. Yeah, he know. Okay. He know. Yeah, from his name, he knows. Bob does sports. Joey Cold Cuts. Oh, Perez. All right. So this is actually a potential. If Netflix is to break this 412 level, right? If Netflix is to break this 412 level, this is a potential volume profile play, right? You can see that right here. Now, why was I able to know that before looking at volume profile? By just reading the price action, right? You can see right here by seeing this price action. So, yeah, very interesting, right? Really low volume area here on Netflix. If we start trading under that 412, right? If we turn that 412 into a rejection, this could move pretty quickly, right? This could move pretty quickly through this level. Not much support until around that 370, 380 area. Interesting there. For now, it probably holds that 412, so I wouldn't be, out there trying to catch this today. It looks like it's probably going to hold this 412 for the time being. You guys can see nice little demand hold so far this morning. But that's something to watch. Watch this 412 level on Netflix. Google 129. This might be your strongest chart on the strongest tech name across the board is Google right now, in my opinion. Google has been holding like a champ at this 129 level, and it just held the 20 SMA yesterday very nicely, right? Mahmood, no one knows, man. No one. So stop asking questions that no one can answer, okay? Use the technical levels and trade the levels that were provided. And you watch the price action and you react to it. That's what traders do. They do not try to guess. No one knows what the future holds. You set up your levels. You prepare for the day. You prepare for what levels to watch. You watch the price action at those levels, and you make decisions based off of them. That's all you can do. All right? Google, possibly the strongest tech name out there, has been holding up very well. 20 SMA held, right? You guys can see the previous highs here, right there. You can see the... It's coming back, I think. Oh my God, it's happening. Everyone get ready, it's happening. Parkour. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my internet lately, man. I think they might. I got to check on my internet speed test because I think they might be screwing me, to be honest. I think they might be screwing me. 590. I mean, it's fast enough. But I do pay for gigabyte, and that ain't a gigabyte. But that's Wi-Fi. Maybe I should try to plug it in. All right. 590. It's pretty quick. I mean, it's quick enough to run this, but I do pay for a gig, and I ain't getting it. While you freezing, not me. So Google, watch the 20 SMA. Watch this 129 demand. That's what I'd be watching today, all right? All right, last thing we're going to do. I can't go over the entire trade today because we're running out of time here. But 300 on Meta, perfect break and retest rejection on Meta. We talked about this. Previous lows, 300 rejections on Meta. Really nice downside. If we go to the 4-hour chart, right? If we go to the 4-hour chart, just watch out. If we do get some more downside on Meta, just keep an eye on this 290 demand, right? I think the downside trade is likely over, right? You really want it to be in up towards that 300 supply. So I'm really not too fond of shorting Meta again today, especially if we get NASDAQ strength. But just be aware of this 290 demand on Meta down below, okay? Really nice 300 rejections yesterday. You could look for that 50 SMA rejection again today. This 295, 296. This is sort of the area that I'd be watching today. 295, 296. Look to see if you get a little 50 SMA rejection on Meta. If not, then that thing probably pushes back to the upside. So 295, 296 on Meta, 50 SMA. You could see a little rejection play here. It's very possible. But if you get above, then this thing's just going to sort of creep higher, and I'd stay away from it. All right, guys, that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed the stream. It's all about this 15,000 level, 15,040. Look, right now as we speak in the pre-market, you can see the NASDAQ is trying to hold 15,000, right? You see this reaction right here? This is your first sign, right? This is your first sign of something happening here at 15,000. You're seeing some sort of consolidation right above that level. So this is a must watch, right? This will tell you what you need to know. Do we hold this 15,000, right? And do we get a pop? Or does this level fail and we move back below? If we do get a pop off this 15K, then you're moving into 15,040, triple bottom lows, which is where you need to be cautious. All right? Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you could, before you head out, press that like button. Try to get us to 1,000 likes. We need to get that speed, that violence, that speed, and that momentum going, man. We got to get this. We got to get these streams going. I got to figure out how to get us to 2,000 viewers. I don't know what to do. I need your help. I'm going to try to continue to provide the best content I can. I think we do a fantastic job. There's not very often that we're wrong on this live stream. I'm not going to lie. A lot of these futures levels just hit over and over again. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. If the ones that do come, I appreciate you guys for being here. As always, without you, I'd be talking to no one. I couldn't do this, so I appreciate it. Press that like button. With your guys' help, we can continue to grow. Subscribe to the channel. And, yeah, maybe I need a little SEO clickbait. Violence, speed, momentum.